Hello everyone, Total Thomas Man here, and today we're back with another video on the channel. How is everybody doing today? So today we're going to be looking at 10 Minecraft SMP shop ideas. Now you could build these on your SMP, or you could build them in your survival worlds, but I don't recommend doing that as you aren't going to make any diamonds from them unless you're paying yourself diamonds, which makes no sense. But let's get right on into it. And also, before we begin, I would like to give credit to SS Gaming here on YouTube, because he is the creator, well, sort of this amazing idea. So, shout out to you. Shop idea number 10 is a slime shop. Now, slime shops are great ideas for any multiplayer server with over 5 people usually, because everyone wants slime, but you probably want to do this if you've got maybe 20 people playing on your server. And the reason why I say that is because we have maybe 12 active players on the Igniter SMP, and only a couple of us are good at redstone, so we don't need slime all the time. But this could be an amazing idea. It's a good idea on this server because we have a slime shop for whenever anyone needs slime. But you want to make sure your shop is going out to a specific target. So just think about what your server what the majority of your server does. And shop idea number 9, a honey shop. So a honey shop is a really good idea for any server really, because it doesn't matter what you do. If you're a redstone person, you are going to be using honey blocks. If you like to build with copper, you're going to be using waxed copper most likely, so you're going to need honeycomb. And then also candles are a great idea to sell in this shop. I think altogether this is a really good idea. Just there are other shops that could probably make you more diamonds, as not a lot, we aren't always buying honeycomb. I'm usually the one that buys honeycomb on the server. Shop idea number 8, Dirty Deeds Done Cheap. So this shop also sells deep slate and ice. Ice is a really good idea, so is deep slate. So Dirty Deeds Done Cheap, basically the idea of this shop, you don't have to call it this. This is just a cool name that Delta Diction came up with. So, this is a really cool shop. Basically, you leave a request. Perfect Pigs has asked for 20 stacks of warp wood, and then the owner of the shop can get back to you and settle a good price, and you get your stuff. So basically, you can order stuff in bulk here, which I think is a really good idea. Shop number 7 is a Redstone Shop. On our server, we have the Red Zeppelin, which is a little bit hard to get into. Let's just use the elevator. So, as we're going up to the Red Zeppelin, a Redstone Shop is a really good idea. Now, like I said, it's closer to the bottom of this list because not everyone needs redstone on the server all the time. I mean, I occasionally make a redstone project when I need something. And when I made the moss farm on this server, I did not have access to this shop because it was not open. But this is a really good idea, like selling all the redstone components. 3 diamonds for 16 sticky pistons. Sounds like a fair deal. So if you do this, then you're bound to get some diamonds, especially if you're going to sell chests and rails, because a lot of people use chests and rails that don't normally use redstone. So I think this is a really cool idea. Also, another bonus little tip, if you're going to sell a redstone shop, maybe you could sell redstone farms. So like you put in a request for a redstone farm, and then the owner will build it. I forgot to return the elevator. Shop idea number 6, a beacon shop. Everyone's going to need beacons. Now, I don't recommend setting this up day 1 for your server, because you are not going to want to grind for wither skulls all the time. But I recommend setting up a beacon shop at sometime later on in the server, maybe 2 months in or so, when you have enough time to grind for wither skeletons, or you can make a wither skeleton farm. But everyone wants a beacon, and 32 diamonds is a really good price. You could lower it a little. See, Onyx has got some profits from this. So I think a beacon shop is a really good idea, but not first thing in the server, first thing you do on the server. Shop idea number 5, another shop. So this nether shop pretty much sells everything in the nether. Not yet, it still needs a bit more stock before it'll be fully open. But I think it's a great idea. Also, selling netherite is amazing. I bought a little bit of netherite. But I think it's an amazing idea for a shop because I'm not constantly needing, stuff like magma blocks, or netherite, but blaze rods and warped and crimson wood, all that stuff, I use it all the time. You don't notice I use it all the time, but I do. Shop idea number 4, a one-stop shop. Now, these shops are so awesome and helpful, but they are a pain in the backside to set up because you have to grind for ages if you want to get stuff to put in here. So basically, you could have a shop just for tough and deep slate, like that was a shop until it got moved here, or a shop just for cobblestone and andesite, diorite, or granite, or you can have it all in one place if you're insane, like Onyx is. But this shop sells obsidian, which is also going to be sold in the nether shop, I think. All this stuff will be probably sold in the nether shop, I'd assume. But stone bricks, that's going to go out like crazy soon. Not because I need any. I'm just kidding. Yes, I need some. Cobblestone. You don't always need it, but you constantly run out of it if you're crafting a lot of things. Then basalt, that's a great block. And sandstone. Boy, I've visited this chest so many times. And sand and gravel, that one is a very important thing for our shops. We don't use a lot of concrete on the server or glass, but if we do, this is going to be bought out. And then gold too. If you've got a gold farm, you can set that up. So a one-stop shop could be number 1, but that kind of gives you a hint. The next 3 are even better. But before we get to the next 3, we're going to interview VidMC and ask him a couple of questions about running a successful shop. So Vid, I'm telling everyone about some good shop ideas, kind of showing them around our shopping district. But what would you say makes a good shop in Minecraft?
What makes a good shop? Probably a shop that provides something that's, maybe takes a few hours to gather, but is, something that basically one person doesn't mind grinding for, and then they can exchange it for something that somebody else doesn't mind grinding for. For example, some people like to mine for diamonds and other people like to chop down wood. So, if that person wants to take a few diamonds and spend them on some wood, then, everyone's happy, right?
Right. I think that's great. And so what you're basically saying is, instead of mining for your first iron, make a farm for it, make 2 farms, become rich and get tons of diamonds without mining a single diamond ore. Shop idea number 3. A Shulker/Elytra Shop. This is a great idea, especially like if you're 2 weeks, whenever you enter to the end, whenever you beat the Ender Dragon as a server, or if you do it by yourself, if you have permission, I would definitely recommend spending 2 or 3 hours, maybe even more than that, just going and finding end cities, especially if that's what you love doing, because Onyx loves finding end cities, as I've heard. So this shop sells shulker boxes, elytra, and 15 diamonds each. That's a pretty good deal for elytra, but if you're like fresh on the server, you're the only one who has an elytra, I would recommend adding that to 20 diamonds and maybe 25 if you add mending and unbreaking, because let's face it, everyone's going to rush to get an elytra, and I know I always wait for an elytra shop to open up in the shopping district on any server I'm a part of before I go out and try and find an end city myself, because it's just so much easier. And this shop also sells diamond tools, so basically stuff that comes from the end cities that can be sold here as well. Shop idea number 2. Now this is kind of a tie for number 2 because there isn't actually one of these shops on the server, it's built in, but an iron shop and a rocket shop. Now VidMC can tell you that this shop makes a whole bunch of diamonds, especially on the bone meal. Like, I have a moss farm, I come here and buy bone meal a lot. So bone meal and iron are a great thing to sell together because you get poppies from iron farms, and the poppies can be turned into bone meal. So you can sell iron blocks. You can go cheaper than this, or I mean higher than this. Vid's just crazy, insane human being. But you can sell iron, this, bone meal, and then also you should make a gunpowder or a rocket shop, or both, because rockets go like hotcakes. I mean, look, see, the diamond's already in there, and gunpowder is a really good thing for if you can buy sand from the one-stop shop, buy some gunpowder from here, and then you can make some TNT and go nether mining. So it's great. And then you can also have a villager shop as well. So basically this is a 3-in-1 shop. So you can sell stuff that you can get from villagers, like glass and name tags, lanterns, saddles, leather horse armor. That's always a good option too. Now, I bet you're waiting for number 1. And shop number 1 is a book nook. Now, a book nook is a very important thing. You should set it up as soon as possible, because everyone is going to want to get mending and unbreaking books. So we have a lot of different options here. So this is a shop owned by me and VidMC. I was the creator, but Vid had tons of books, so we kind of partnered up. Oh, also another good tip for shops is to have a partner, because that means you have to stock half. You could do a half and half, or sometimes Vid will stock more than I do. It just depends on what week it is, you know. Now, nothing is sold really the last couple days in here, but that's kind of expecting, because like everyone has diamond stuff now and netherite, so no one really needs any of these books at the moment. But if they do, they can always stop here. So this is a great thing to set up in the early games. Now, you're probably thinking, because I got to shop number 1, the video's over, and that is no. I'm going to give you another couple tips and things that I've learned about shops over the years. And by years, I mean like 2 years, and really only like a year and a half, because that's when I started playing on SMP. So, yeah. So, a tip that I can give you is this shop was originally called the Chop Shop, because I was selling pork chops. And that's another great idea to set up for the early game, the first week of the server. You should definitely set up some kind of shop that sells food. Any kind of food, really, except for, carrots, potatoes, because maybe baked potatoes, but just something that people want, like bread, for instance. That's a great thing to do in the early game, because that's a good source of food for the early game anyway. Or golden carrots in the late game, like Vid sells in his iron shop. Those are always great, although don't buy them from Vid, because if you haven't seen Zabrax's video, they're poisonous apparently. And you might have noticed there were tons of shops that didn't get on this list, and I'm just judging off of the amount of purchases, because I just built this top log. It did really well. It does well when anyone needs large quantities of wood, because you're not gonna want to buy birch unless you're doing a project that heavily uses birch. So there's tons of shops that you can make, like Pig's Terracotta Shop, whenever anyone needs terracotta, which isn't really that often, but a lot of times people do, and they'll go to Pig's Terracotta Shop to buy some terracotta. Or my Amethyst Barn, when anyone needs large quantities of tinted glass, they'll go to the Amethyst Barn to buy some amethyst shards. And same with dripstone. If anyone's doing some insane project with dripstone, they'll go to the Dripstone Shop to get dripstone. And same with the Nature Shop. Like, whenever I need, apparently grass is being sold now, so if I ever need some grass, actually, you know what? I'm just gonna take 3 of my diamonds and buy some grass, because I can never have enough grass. This is a great shop to sell stuff like that. And for those who don't have moss farms, if they're using moss, that's a good idea. And I think the best thing that you could sell is glow ink. Glow ink is so awesome. Especially, I'm not the biggest fan of the glow squid. I think the moo bloom is better. But the glow ink to do these kind of signs, it's incredible. So that you should always keep that in mind. And in the long run, some shops are going to do better than others, just like real life. McDonald's is always going to do better than one of the personal owned, your own small business. McDonald's is going to do better as a corporation than your average, you know, small-owned restaurant. Although the small-owned restaurant is always going to be good, McDonald's is not only cheaper, but it is also, everyone knows about it. So make sure when you're building your shop never to get discouraged if you aren't racking in the sales, because I've built 4 shops on this server. Not all of them have done particularly well. I've got more profits in the log shop in the last 3 days than I have with the amethyst barn and the dripstone shop put together. So some shops are going to do better than others, but all shops are important. And also remember, we have a smaller whitelist than most SMPs. So the more members you have, the better your shop is going to do. And now I've got to say thank you guys so much for watching. If you have watched this far into the video and aren't subscribed, what are you doing? What are you doing? You are insane for watching this entire video and not subscribing to me. Of all people, you aren't subscribing to me, so please hit that subscribe button, like the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all on the next one. Goodbye.